Hey, absolutely no way, Collingwood. Fuck off. Don't like that. Going for Charlie Curnow now? You don't need it. You don't really want it. You just want to do it because you know it's going to hurt us. You know it's going to rip the soul out. So take whatever you're thinking and walk it back to wherever you came from, because that will not happen. You're not getting Charlie. Absolutely no way.
Hi, welcome to another update on the Charlie Curnow fiasco here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. A bit happening over the last 24 to 48 hours. Well, really, this week. So let's recap it and let's unpack what this means for this next chapter in the Charlie Curnow possibly leaving Carlton, possibly staying story. So firstly, we saw a report from John Ralph that Charlie was going to meet with Graham Wright. No groundbreaking information there, but there's an important part to this article that I want to bring up. So, says here, 19th of September, the article was written. Sydney remains Charlie Curnow's best chance of escaping the Carlton fishbowl, with the Blues star back in Melbourne and meeting with CEO Graham Wright on Friday to discuss his future. That's fine. This is the one that piqued my interest. It has been reported Curnow has issues with coach Michael Voss. That's fine, heard that before, and believe some of his injury concerns have been related to his care. That's interesting. This is the part that got my interest though. The quote here from John Ralph, but the Blues might also have an issue if he has done everything possible with his professionalism to maximize his gifts. It's one of the first times I've seen anyone report it from a Carlton perspective. Now, it's no secret that John Ralph has been getting information over the course of however long from certain individuals, in particular a guy that used to work at the club, surname starts with L, rhymes with Lloyd. So that's a really interesting piece of insight there that caught my attention, and I wonder if that gets expanded on as we move more and more into this story. So secondly, we saw last night, preliminary final, Hawthorn Geelong. All of a sudden, Charlie appears on screen, which was a really interesting bit of public perception, because he's obviously reportedly trying to get out of the fishbowl, not trying to be a part of the circus, so it seems, but sitting in what was apparently the cotton on box, might have been, might not have been, with his manager. That's fine. Man goes to football, no issue there. But I mean, sitting in the box there, I think you know that you're going to get some attention drawn to you. The cameras are going to be on you, but like, that is what it is. It was a really interesting bit. People were sending the photo through, reactions were filtering through. I don't think much of it in isolation, but I think as it builds the story, every little bit matters. Every little tiny part of the story builds into a bigger story. And then subsequently, we also saw a report from Channel 7 last night. Xander Maguire, who has obvious links to Collingwood, reports that Collingwood are now interested in making an audacious bid. So this is how the report played out.
And you've got some exclusive details on a recruiting raid from the Pies.
Well, it doesn't get much bigger than two of the biggest clubs in the land fighting it out over one of the biggest names in the game. I can tell you that Collingwood is launching an audacious bid to land Charlie Curnow for 2026 and beyond. And with Jamie Elliott and Brody Myercheck potentially on the out, they could have the salary cap and on-field space to do it. Now, we know that Charlie wants out of the Blues for lifestyle-related reasons. He wants to live by the beach and get out of the Carlton spotlight, which is why Geelong, Gold Coast and Sydney have been at the top of his list, but it hasn't stopped the Pies from asking the question of him. Key to their ambition is his relationship with Josh and Nick Dacos, who he's a business partner with in their alcoholic beverage venture, Barry's, and of course that he could be handed the keys to a forward line that is currently contending for premierships. Beck, they say you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. That's clearly the Pies' recruiting mantra.
All right.
Okay, so meets with Carlton CEO, cotton on box for the football to watch the Cats and the Hawks battle it out with his manager. Public perception, doesn't want to be in the fishbowl of football, but draws attention at the football regardless. I mean, he's a big name player. He's a star. Collingwood are apparently interested. Wow. So if Collingwood are really interested here, and the reports are to be true, and it can be as simple as asking the question. It can be as serious as putting a genuine offer forward. I think this only helps the bidding war. I think we want a bidding war. If Charlie's really going to leave and really wants out of Carlton, I think it would be more beneficial to have even more clubs asking the question, throwing offers. Because once we start getting into this bidding war, all of a sudden the team that stands to benefit the most is Carlton, because we have choices. So far, it's kind of been reported that, Charlie wants to get out, and, Sydney, Gold Coast and Geelong seem to be the best suitors. Hang on a minute. Carlton are the ones with the power here. Just trade him for the best deal. Sure, you can get out of the fishbowl. Trade him to West Coast. Trade him to Freo. Trade him interstate. Carlton are the ones that have the power in the contract. And I would like to see a little bit of that from the club if it got to that point. Because right now it just seems like we're just pandering to whatever Charlie wants or whatever Charlie's management want. It's just adding more and more layers to this story. So that's the latest. Met with Graham Wright and then the Collingwood bid. So what do you think of the latest? Chat to you in the comments. Go from there.